Have you ever wondered why some illnesses appear out of nowhere, with no medical explanation, no family history, no apparent cause? Has this ever happened to you or someone close to you? Waking up feeling well and suddenly developing a strange symptom, a pain that won't go away, a malaise that no test can identify. And the more you search for answers, the more you feel lost, exhausted, without direction. Well, you should know. Perhaps the answer lies not in medicines, nor in traditional diagnoses, but in something much more subtle and profound: your spiritual energy. Yes, your energy field may be crying out for help, and you haven't even realized it. That's why this video has reached you now. It wasn't by chance. If you're here, perhaps you're experiencing some pain, some illness, some persistent feeling of physical or emotional imbalance. Or perhaps you're here because you feel you need to understand what your body is trying to tell you, but no one has explained it to you yet. So I invite you to listen with an open heart. Because today we are going to talk about something that science is just beginning to investigate, but that the spiritual world has known about for millennia: the connection between the energetic state of the soul and the manifestation of diseases in the physical body. But before we continue, I leave this in the comments. I want to understand what my body is trying to show me. Write this down, because when you put this intention into words, you begin to awaken to true healing. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now, activate the bell like this video, and share it with someone who is also seeking answers, healing, light. This is very important so that we can continue to explore together the mysteries, signs, and truths that exist behind spirituality and the energies that surround us. Now take a deep breath and pay attention, because many times illness does not begin in the body. It begins in the soul. It begins inside in the form of unresolved sadness, hidden hurt, pent-up anger, a silent fear that has never been faced. And all of this accumulates in your energy field. Keep thinking. It infiltrates your emotional and mental layers, and finally, where does it explode? In your body. Because your body speaks. Your body screams. Your body materializes what your spirit can no longer handle on its own. Have you ever noticed how many people get sick after a trauma? How, after a heartbreak, a betrayal, a profound loss, you get that backache that won't go away, that anxiety attack, that gastritis that appears out of nowhere, or that insomnia that no medication can cure, and then you seek help, get tests, change your diet, but the illness is still there. Why? Because you are treating the consequence, but not the root. And the root, many times, is in your spiritual field. It is in something you experienced that was kept inside, compressed, repressed. And this is not mystic talk. This is an energetic reality. Your body carries memories. Your spiritual field absorbs the vibrations of the environments, of the people, of the words you hear and of the words you didn't have the courage to say. And when you don't clean it up, when you don't let go, when you insist on carrying what your soul can no longer bear, your body pays the price. And it pays with pain, fatigue, muscle tension, chronic migraines, autoimmune diseases, skin problems, and everything that no one can really explain. And I ask you now, is what you're feeling really physical, or is it spiritual? Could that pain that keeps coming back in the same place have to do with something you haven't resolved yet? Could your energy be begging for attention, for release, for healing? The truth is that we are connected on several levels. We are the body, yes, but we are also the mind, the emotion, the spirit. And when one of these levels gets sick, all the others feel it. But most people only look at the symptom. They only look at what hurts physically. And they forget to look inside. They forget to investigate what the heart is trying to say, what the spirit is trying to heal, what the soul is trying to free. And do you know what is most curious? There are pains that disappear when you forgive. There are illnesses that weaken when you change environments, when you distance yourself from toxic people, when you start to say what you have kept inside for years. There are symptoms that disappear when you reconnect with your essence, with your faith, with your mission. Because spiritual energy is the foundation of your health. If it is out of balance, nothing flows. And if you ignore this imbalance, sooner or later your body will scream. That is why I want to invite you today to look at your pain with different eyes. What if it is not just physical? What if it is a sign? a call for help from your soul, a warning that something urgently needs to change? Will you continue trying to silence it with medication, distractions, ignoring the signs that your own body is giving you? Because while you insist on treating only what is visible, the invisible continues to act. And healing only happens when you go to the root. And the root is in the energy, in the vibration, in what you feel, think, say, keep, repeat. It is in the anger that you do not release, in the sadness that you do not cry, in the hurt that you embrace every day before going to sleep. It is in the lack of forgiveness, in the feeling of guilt, in the silent shame that you carry as if it were part of who you are, but you are not is this pain. You are not this disease, you are light. You are energy in motion, and this energy can be healed, it can be restored, it can be freed. But this only happens when you decide to look inside and ask with courage, what is my body trying to show me? What is my soul trying to heal? What part of me is suffocating? The answer to your pain may be in your energy. The answer to your healing may be in your spirit. And until you listen, your body keeps trying to warn you. Now that you have begun to realize that the body speaks what the soul feels, that the pains you ignore may be loaded with spiritual messages, it is time to go further. It is time to learn to truly listen to what your energy field is trying to tell you. And don't think that this is something complicated, too mystical, far from you. It is not. Your body gives you signals all the time. Do you feel a strange tiredness that does not go away with sleep or rest? Do you feel pains that always appear in the same places, at specific times after certain meetings or arguments? Do you feel a tightness in your chest when you enter certain environments or are around certain people? This is not just physical, it is spiritual. And the first step to starting the healing is to recognize that something inside you is asking for release. That perhaps deep down there is a stagnant energy that you need to release. Sometimes it is an emotion that was stifled, a word that was choked, a choice that you avoided, a pain that you pretended to forget. And all this burden accumulates in your spiritual field. It creates blockages. It darkens your vibration. And when the soul can no longer bear the burden, the body manifests it. And now answer me, how many times have you tried to heal yourself with only material things? You changed your diet, took medicine, sought therapy, which is great, yes, but still felt that something inside you was still heavy. Because there are pains that cannot be resolved only physically. There are pains that need to be cleared from your vibrational field. And how do you do that? How do you clear the energy that makes you sick? The answer lies in reconnecting with your essence. And this starts with small acts. It starts with silence, with prayer, with conscious breathing, with the choice to distance yourself from everything that contaminates you. Negative people, heavy environments, repetitive thoughts of hurt, anger, envy, self-demand. Every time you choose to let go of an emotional burden, you are healing your body. Every time you choose forgiveness, gratitude, presence, you are strengthening your energy field. And what almost no one tells you is that your body vibrates. Yes, each cell of yours vibrates at a certain frequency. Dense emotions such as deep sadness, hatred, guilt, and resentment lower this frequency. And the lower your energy is, the more vulnerable you are spiritually and physically. It's as if illnesses find fertile ground to manifest themselves. But when you start to raise this vibration with awareness, with intention, with faith, you start to expel what does not belong in your light. And this is not theory, it's real. There are studies that show that people who cultivate positive emotions, who meditate, who pray, who keep their faith active, are less likely to develop serious illnesses, recover better, have more resistance, more inner strength. Because where there is light, darkness cannot resist. Where there is peace, imbalance does not thrive. So now I invite you to do an examination of conscience. How is your energy lately? Have you been feeling heavy shoulders, tension in your neck, pains that come and go without explanation? Is your mind agitated, your dreams confused, your energy has disappeared? All of these could be signs of an energy blockage. It could be your soul begging for attention, for purification, for reconnection with the divine. And there are ways to begin this cleansing. One of them is the practice of gratitude. When you start to give thanks, even for the little things, your frequency changes. The energy that was stagnant begins to flow. Another powerful practice is prayer with intention, not the kind that is done automatically, but the kind in which you speak to God as if you were confiding in your best friend. Say everything. Let go. Liberate. There is also cleansing with natural elements, herbal baths, smudging with incense, using coarse salt on your feet or in the environment. These are simple practices, but with ancient power. And you can also observe the signals from your body as a compass. Stomach pain could be accumulated fear. Back pain could be an excess of responsibilities. Sore throats could be linked to difficulty expressing yourself. Sensitive skin could be related to repressed emotions. Don't take this as a rule, but as clues. The body doesn't lie, it always warns you. And above all, know this. True healing happens when you reconcile with your own story. When you stop fighting with what you experienced and start accepting, forgiving, understanding that everything had a reason, that everything brought a lesson. When you transform pain into learning, trauma into wisdom, hurt into compassion, your spiritual field becomes illuminated, and it is in this light that healing begins. If this message is making sense to you, he writes, here in the comments, I want to heal my body and my soul. Share this video with those who need to understand that not all pain is physical, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now. Like, comment, send it to those who are sick in body, but may be suffering in soul as well. Because spiritual healing is real, it is possible, and it starts with a yes. A yes to consciousness, a yes to transformation, a yes to awakening.